Me and two friends from my squadron went out one night to watch the Hunger Games while stationed in New Jersey. After the movie got out, it was already late at night and the parking lot was mostly empty. We decide to stand around and bullshit while smoking before we start back towards the base. Out of nowhere we see this U-Haul truck come flying into the parking lot. I jokingly say, "Oh shit, I hope it's not a fucking bomb coming after us." Since we had all just got back from down range. Well, the truck does make a line straight for us. Now we're a little worried about what's going on. The truck comes speeding up to us and stops directly in front of us. The driver looks worried as shit and his wife is not looking any better. They ask us if they can use one of our cell phones because there is a person locked in the back of the U-Haul. We, of course, oblige and call the police for them. While waiting around they explain it's his wife's ex-boyfriend and he has been threatening them for a long time. That's why they were having to move. Well, the ex heard about this move and decided to hide in the back of the truck so he could get them at their new destination. Neither me nor my friends believe a fucking word of this, but we felt we should wait around since we were the ones who called the police. When they finally arrived about 30 minutes later, not from us calling, the one that showed up was just a random patrol near the theater that noticed us. The driver explains the situation and the officer calls for backup and all that. Turns out, it was all fucking true. The police opened up the back of the truck and tried getting the guy out. He fought back and ended up tasered. It was a hell of a way to end our night and none of our NCOs believed us, sad face. Granted, after everything and before we left one of the police actually said, "Your wives and bosses aren't going to believe this shit happened at all." And now for our next story. Backstory: I had the coolest bus driver as a kid going from kindergarten up to 2nd grade. He wore glasses and a cap all the time. He let us kids do everything and anything we wanted without being reprimanded. I always sat right behind him, that was my seat. One day I get on the bus and we have a new driver. Turns out my bus driver kept the last little girl on the bus and raped her. He was all over the local news channel. Here is where it gets really creepy. I never gave more than fleeting thoughts about him until one of my friend's funerals. An old friend of mine introduces me to his sister. She leaves and he asks if I remember our bus driver, Andy. I said yes and he tells me a story about how Andy came to his house and tried to kidnap his sister, the one I just met. He said he had come on a dirt bike and grabbed her, but my friend was able to somehow get her before he was able to leave. Before this story, I had forgotten about how Andy used to come to my house and bring gifts and food. As I thought more and more, I realized Andy had actually been following me. The house he came to visit me in was not the home he drove the bus to. Therefore, he would have not known this unless following me. How none of this dawned on my mom is beyond me. I could have been another little girl taken by this man. Next up, story number 3. I was commuting into NYC at a rather off-peak time. I was alone, dressed professionally with my bag at my side. I was sitting in a rather less crowded train car, but there were people there. A heckler gets on the train and starts asking everyone if they have any change to spare. He gets to me and asks me the same question, to which I reply, "No, sorry, I don't have anything for you today." He proceeds to heckle me by saying, but miss, you're so beautiful, please, please," to which I reply once again, "I have nothing for you today." He was so close to me that I could feel his spit on me. It was rather disgusting. All of a sudden, transit police come busting through the train car door and start yelling at the man, "Sit down on the bench and cross your legs. You'll be getting off at the next stop." At the same time, a bystander comes over and hands the heckler a newspaper and says, "Here, cover up." His penis had been hanging out of his pants the entire time. I had been so concerned with getting him out of my face/away from me that I didn't even notice. Eventually the train stopped and he was asked to get off and he did. Everyone proceeded to ask me if I was okay and that was that. Grossest/one of many weird commuting stories. Thanks for watching guys. Please like and subscribe for more daily stories.